Yeah, so I'm sure we went, hour and a half? This felt like a long
Yeah.
I mean, it was so fun, though, to have Parker back.
Yeah, he's a good egg.
Just to catch up, he was a great
super sweet dude,
great employee, a great guy, and you could tell he's just he cares about kids. He really does.
Yeah,
I was going to say, if I had somebody,
except for his own.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they're getting the short end.
Yeah, he
of the
was totally
stick.
ignoring all the buzzing from his phone as we were recording.
Yeah.
But he was a trooper and stuck around for the end of it.
Well, we got through him. We got to talk about, what's it like to be a teacher in high school today with distracted kids,
Phone addictions.
Yeah,
which is a problem for adults too.
Right. And then dabbled into some of his coaching and techniques, dealing with having a big roster of kids where everybody can't play, but yet you want everybody to play. And I mean, it was fun. It was light, and we laughed a lot.
Yeah, we did.
And I needed that. I don't know about you guys. It's been busy.
Yeah,
need a little.
It's a
therapy.
good palate cleanser.
Yep.
Yeah, a good reset.
A lot of travel and work. And
yeah, and that's that's what we keep talking about, trying to put these out as often as possible. But we actually have jobs.
Yeah,
require us to travel and to be in offices and production suites.
Yep.
Some of us aren't retired.
Present company
quasi retired.
Yes.
I'll never retire. But yeah, this is a good one. It's episode 5 of the A-POD-Calypse now.
And we hope to have him back at some point. And if we do, guys, we have got to make sure we have a huge ass burrito in the center of this.
Oh yeah.
Have him just
chow down.
And maybe even not him. He won't even talk. He just eats.
Just eats the whole time.
Yeah. That would be great. He could we could have him here from the beginning.
Yep.
And we won't talk to him. Won't even acknowledge that he's here.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he just eats the burrito. We just hear it in the background, crunch, crunch.
Eating the burrito.
He's sort of, instead of our Ed McMahon, he would be our Fed McMahon.
Fed McMahon.
Yeah. So,
Oh, that's good. I like that.
Low claims fed.
Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a fun one, and we even include a couple of mentions of place where you can get your new favorite writing utensil.
Yeah. And what is that address, Rick Boone?
I don't remember I forgot what it was.
No, I'm sure we mentioned it in the
a couple
podcast
times, I think,
once or twice.
Yeah, and also we also do mention, and we'll put it again in the on the screen, some places that you can donate for the hurricane relief. So
Yes.
please do that.
Yeah.
And
If there's the only serious thing that we've said all day.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
But enjoy this podcast. It was a fun episode, and just take a listen and
Make sure you've got time.
yeah, because
You're gonna need some time for this one.
You'll want to get to the end.
Yeah. Get into it. Do it.
love you a long time.
What?
Just felt like the right thing to say.
That's the button. That's the button.
Hey guys,
Hey now.
and we're back with episode 5.
Is it really 5?
Yeah, it's kind of unbelievable actually that we've made it this far.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way, we've managed to.
Do we have 5 listeners? They can listen to each
Barely.
other. Okay.
Well, there's 4 in the room here because we all listen to go, that sounds good. That sounds good. Let's keep going.
I feel like we need to start doing a better job of working in potential product placement
I do
mentions
too.
just for sponsors.
Product placement, or, I'm thinking about maybe we do a little bit of advertising.
What do we at?
Just to work it into our narrative.
I mean, I don't know.
Natural.
I don't know if you guys saw.
I mean, this.
Of course,
I love a good Apple Watch. I don't know about you.
That's true.
When I'm trying to tell time and check my heart rate, an Apple Watch comes in very handy. Apple Watch.
Apple Watch. Ultra.
Apple Watch.
Yeah. Ultra Series 2.
Ultra Series 2.
Apple Watch.
Prefer the black. Thank you.
So, we could talk about a couple things. One thing I think we missed last week, or the last time we did this, was I sort of missed our conspiracy of the day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there's been a few conspiracies
Have
here
there?
in a few weeks.
Have there?
And
You talking about the whole idea that these hurricanes are man-made? Is that one of them?
That's a good one.
Which,
Thanks,
it's
MGT.
Which is funny. We were at the dinner table, and it's like when you start combining some of these conspiracy theories of the whole trans world, like they're sending your kid to school to get. It's like, are they also sending these hurricanes to get trans operations? Like, it started out as a hurricane, but after the trans operation, now it's a hurricane.
yeah.
True story. Yeah, Marge
Started off
Taylor
as
Greene.
Helene, and went to Milton. That's sort of strange, right?
Right.
God, those poor people, though. It's like, some of the footage I was watching, the debris in the background was from the previous storm.
Oh yeah.
And
Like, I can't keep track.
It's crazy, but like you were saying, I find it like really funny that people are like, okay, the government is controlling the weather.
Yeah.
But
nuts.
But global warming is fake, bro.
Right.
I
Yeah,
mean,
which
it's-
is it? Come on.
Yeah,
I mean,
pick a lane.
Pick a
it's-
lane.
But I did think it was really cool that on every major news network you were seeing, hey, if you have an iPhone, update to 18.1 because it has now the satellite SOS mode,
Right.
which
I didn't even think of
which
that.
is, I think, amazing for people in
Yep.
That are
in those type of
stranded, yeah,
conditions or
yeah.
stranded or whatever.
Because that is your lifeline
Yeah.
when all the systems go down. I did not think of that.
Yeah. And speaking of that, we should. I think we could put at the bottom of the video here. We'll put like the link on how you can donate to help out with relief.
Oh, our relief or
Yeah. Well, the comedy
for the
relief.
hurricane.
Yeah. Well,
Gotcha.
somebody could come in and relieve us from doing this job. Yeah. But yeah, I think we should include that. I'll put it at
for
the bottom.
sure.
Yeah,
absolutely. And
like the .gov has some great links to all the different organizations that you can donate to. So that'd be great.
Well, tangent to what you were just saying, I think on the dark side, the misinformation, you can chalk it up to politics most days, and it's horrible, yes, and it's sickening, regardless of which side you're on, in terms of your little think tank silo you're in. But in this case, to make people feel, to inundate them with misinformation
with lies.
when they're going through
Straight lies.
Yeah.
potentially
Straight
not
lies.
applying for the FEMA aid.
Or thinking they only get $750
Just-
and
Right,
the rest
right.
is going to, illegal
Ukraine.
immigrants. or
Even
something,
Katrina, you're doing a good job, Brownie.
Yeah.
There was it was not weaponized
No.
politically, and
yeah,
now it's
exactly.
been weaponized.
It was-
politically.
I said that. I
lies.
said that exact same. Like stupidity has been weaponized.
Yes,
Which is ridiculous.
yeah,
And it's just not. And at that point, you are jeopardizing people's lives.
yeah.
So that's not cool. So, what a weird conspiracy theory.
Well,
to even,
I mean, absolutely. When you were telling people not to trust FEMA,
yeah.
I mean, that is ridiculous. And
Somehow hitching that horse to immigration and that hot topic. Just, come on. Can we not just endure a storm together as human beings?
and that's the thing is, you talk about donations and things like that. It's, we lost our home in a tornado in 2012, and not. I mean, it's not like a hurricane, right? I mean, you still lose everything, but at least you have neighbors that can help, things like that. And what I will say is, this will be on the news for probably the next 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah.
About
Updates, progress.
about 3 months from now, it's going to be off the news.
Yeah.
But those people still need help.
But those people are still going to be such. It literally took us probably a year to get back to our life.
Some semblance of normalcy. Yeah.
That makes
and,
sense.
And then when you start looking at the amount of people involved, just
That swath.
That's a good point. Because it does not just. These people are not going to be in this situation for just a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
It's life changing for these people. So, again, we'll put that any kind of information for people to donate because it's a big deal.
Yeah, and that was a crazy thing. I was watching a news story the other day, and this guy was like, "Yeah, we just bought our house. It's not insured." And I'm like,
Yeah. Speaking of which,
I'm like, how do you buy a house that's not
insured?
insured? And apparently,
in
there's
Florida, that's a new thing. Like either these houses are not going to be insured, or the policies are going to be so expensive, like 400% increase in policy coverage.
Well, if it's now optional, there goes the buying. I mean, that drives prices up too.
Of course, yeah.
Anybody that opts out, it's like the ACA. The whole premise is it being everyone uses it.
absolutely.
And isn't California going through the same thing with wildfire issues?
California's going through the same thing.
really?
Florida's going through the same thing.
So it's an optional.
I don't know.
I will tell you, after the tornado destroyed our home, like I said, we had a claim on the house. All of our cars were totaled, contents, things like that.
Yeah.
There was only one car that that hadn't been wrecked until I wrecked it during that time, because that's when that shit happens, right? And
you coincidentally wrecked the car.
The only car that wasn't wrecked. I was just so stressed out.
He let Rick drive it, and he hit a deer.
Yeah, it was an adolescent.
We have a theme.
Yeah.
But my insurance agent was like, dude, I don't think I would claim that right now. He goes, you're so close to being
dropped.
Because would they see it as possible fraud?
No, just so many claims. I mean,
you're just a liability.
Yeah,
yeah, dude. I mean,
unlucky Jamie, we got to drop that shit.
Yeah. Because we're all geeks, right? I mean, we're all geeks.
Super.
I mean, State Farm Insurance literally told me, they're like, your electronics claim is the biggest electronics claim that we've ever had.
Really?
Yes.
What, you mining Bitcoin?
I know.
Easy there, Tony Stark.
But you know how it is though. You get an iPad, you get a new iPad, you give the other one to your kids.
Yeah.
Right. So
you get an iPad or 6.
Yes, exactly. I know. It's.
Well, speaking of geeking, now we're talking, and we get a short amount of time. The meta glasses just keep popping up. And I don't know. It's like, it feels like it's just a thing that we just talk about
in the news.
Yeah,
your social feed.
So did you hear about the 2 Harvard students that not hacked, but developed some software to coincide with the meta glasses?
No, what'd they do?
To do facial recognition, so that they could tap into your data and know everything about you just by looking at you now.
Oh, that's cool.
So they developed a software. They're not going to release it. It's called iX-ray.
Okay.
And it's built off of
Is this in the back of a comic book magazine?
It's not in the back of a comic book. It's like, I can see my bones.
I know.
Well, so is it tapping into, for instance, your contacts and pulling information?
No, it uses, so there's public software out there that can use facial. There's PIM Eyes is the public open. I think it's open source. Does the facial recognition.
Oh.
But somehow they tied it into how they can crawl through whatever data.
People Finder.
Yeah.
Stuff
Yellow
like
pages or white pages online, all that stuff. So they were able to take the meta glasses and wear them around campus and find out people's information just by looking at them.
So, I mean, just by looking around, you can see people's names and some basic info
you don't see it, but it comes through the meta glasses. It comes on an app, and it becomes
gotcha.
information.
He's a drunk. He's a drunk.
He's a COVID hobo.
Exactly.
But yeah, so I mean, that's
well, I mean, seriously, that's where it's going. I mean, Black Mirror is not that far off when it comes to that, and it's really, it just is what it is.
Yeah. Anyway, I had read about this, but then our good friend Ryan sent me a message, and just with the article and just with the words "creep."
Yeah. True that.
Shout out Ryan.
I was like, yep, I am totally looking at people's faces right now.
Nice.
But yeah, so that's like, but the cool thing is that they're Harvard students, so it's like, it's not like it's it's hard, but
right.
They developed this on their own, and they have, like said, we're not going to release it because this is just to bring awareness to what this technology can do. It's just so prevalent, and the fact that we've been talking about meta glasses for our episodes, and it's come up in almost every episode, and it's only been a few weeks.
Yeah,
and how fast the technology is moving.
Oh, everything's moving fast, and I'm sure you guys.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys saw the demo of Orion. That was pretty amazing.
Yes.
Really, really nice.
The glasses are a little bulky looking.
Yeah, but still, I mean, it's a proof. It's a proof of concept.
Prototype.
And also, I learned on MSNBC. On the Rachel Maddow show, this is the only way I found out, is apparently...
Shout out Rachel Maddow.
Yeah.
Soon to be sponsored, maybe?
Well...
we love you, Rachel.
Apparently there's been some political pre-roll ads in front of pornography videos.
Really?
Yeah,
Pre-roll political
ads in front of...
Oh.
And you found this out by watching Rachel Maddow,
totally.
not by your own.
You would know about it.
And I just want to thank her for
pointing that out.
airing that segment, because otherwise I would not have ever known.
Ever known.
Because...
Whose commercial did you see?
So, I'm just thinking, you're 18, 19, 20 years old, and you're like, man, it's time to, go to X Hamster and just really...
Ex-hamster.
Yeah. I'm just guessing. I don't know if that's
Again,
that
we're
a thing?
fishing for
Yeah,
sponsors.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not even going to go there. It's
We're
like, are there-
fishing for sponsors. Looking at you,
What other
ex-hamster.
X animals are there out there?
And then you go to a category you might
When
like.
did Elon buy hamster?
Is X llama still up for grabs? Is that URL available?
So you just go to a category you
Tell
might
me
like,
more about
like anyway, and then you're getting ready, and then all of a sudden this is like this political act comes up, but it's cool. It's
Do
like,
you hate immigrants?
no. These are actually really targeted.
Are you tired of fucking Muslims?
Yeah, these are actually really targeted. It's like if you enjoy watching porn, then make sure you vote for the
It's that
for project
specific.
for Project 2025. They're like Project 2025 will outlaw porn, will outlaw this, will outlaw it's pretty crazy. I mean, I think
So it's. So I've been told, according to Rachel, to Matt Hours.
Yeah. It was just on her show.
Interesting. Yeah, whole new market for.
But I'm just saying, if we ever need to advertise, I'm just
Start making porn.
no. I could just see us doing a little pre-roll before,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully one day.
Yeah.
Well,
You keep saying pre-roll, and my head goes somewhere else.
Oh yeah, that kind of pre-roll. Yeah. I'm thinking. No. I'm thinking like add pre-roll.
Copy.
Yeah.
well,
That pre-rolls for later.
Right.
the other bit of technology thing that I read about, and actually, Rick, you sent the link for this, was the Google Notebook LM.
Google Notebook.
Have you heard about that?
No.
I have not.
So it's this new platform that Google has that you can upload all this information, like studies or papers that have been written. And
it'll give you a breakdown of that.
Yeah, it'll give you a dissertation of everything that
yeah.
you upload to it and make it so it's like in layman's terms, so it's easily digestible.
Then you can ask questions to it, and actually, the new Apple Intelligence does that. Have you done that with?
No, I have not.
Oh, dude, if you've updated to 18.1 or whatever on your iPad or whatever, if you go into reader mode of any news article, you can just ask Apple Intelligence to give you
the summary or whatever.
Summary of it, and it's great.
That's cool.
It just works. It's really cool.
Well, this goes a step further and will take everything and will actually create an AI-generated podcast.
What?
Oh, we're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rick.
And it's...
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's the one. That's the one that
Oh yeah.
has the two
It's a male and
podcast
female.
hosts that are being told that they're not real.
And they realized during the podcast that they are AI and they don't exist.
Oh, they haven't realized that. Come on.
Well, I know some of it is scripted.
Oh yeah.
But it's all like there's our prompts to tell them to say these things. But you listen to it, and it sounds like two real people that are, and they have a really good dynamic. And
Is there video or just?
No, it's just audio.
Okay.
But it's almost frightening because in
How
the middle,
lifelike it is.
yeah, in the middle of the podcast, the one guy goes, turns out, we're not real. I even called my wife to let her know, and I called the number, and no one answered. That number doesn't exist. We don't exist. So it's like, just when I started to learn how to love, and it just ends. Like she goes, I don't want to, and it's just like it just goes black. It's just this It's just this very dystopian.
Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like.
So
I mean, that's been my life for the last month or two, so it seems pretty normal.
Which part?
Not knowing if everything's real.
So this might be our
or-
last podcast. The rest of it's just going to be AI generated.
Well, actually,
If it's
we don't
even
need to do
us.
it
yeah,
anymore.
it's this us. Are we real?
yeah.
Not today. Well, we have a very real guest coming in today.
We do.
Our good friend Parker.
Good friend Parker.
Parker. Like you can't not say his name without sounding like Willem Dafoe. Parker. Yeah, a little bit of background about Parker. Parker used to work with Jamie.
Absolutely.
Red here.
Parker was a great employee here at Video
When did
Bread.
he become a quitter? When was
Well, first of all, he was an intern, and we
from
didn't.
Western?
Yeah, we didn't pay him any money at all. He was just like,
how you roll.
He was like, free food. You guys have free food, for lunch, and so he would just
And that
like.
cost you like $17,000
Oh, it did.
a month.
Would have been cheaper to put him on payroll.
I know. I was such a dumbass. I mean, we would go out on these shoots and stuff, and it's like, fuck, bro. I mean, how many filet mignons are you going to get today? And
He's a large kid.
yeah.
He is a kid. He's a big
I mean, to
kid.
us.
He's a big, lovable kid.
But he's very mature in a lot of ways as well. I mean,
yeah.
Well, he has to be now. Doesn't he have
well, I'm just saying that
is
because
it 1, 2 kids?
this is
two.
going to be
Yeah,
extreme.
two.
So. But no, he's a great guy. He was a great drone operator. Just always a hard worker, and then
and curious.
and curious,
Wanting to learn.
Yeah.
So now
Which
he's
is
teaching our
huge.
children. which
I have
is both
thoughts
exciting
on.
and frightening.
And we had some snippets of some of his work on a couple episodes ago.
Right, punching cicadas.
Yeah.
She's very well known for.
Yeah.
And his
lots of how many views?
millions.
More than most.
Yeah.
Yeah,
More than us.
Well, it turns out
Slightly more.
Yeah.
It must mean that like the general public hates cicadas.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, when they come out of that that cycle of that 15-year, oh my God! I mean, don't you all hate them? I mean, it's,
a little spooky.
Yeah. And then his character of Lil Claims.
That's right.
Right, that was the second. I forgot about that.
Going back to the food thing, he just totally inhaled that burrito or whatever it was, that sandwich.
That was a big burrito.
I mean, it was as long as my arm.
Yeah, it was like a forearm.
It was like, and he ate it and was like, okay, that was an appetizer.
Yeah.
Are we gonna
Then he went to
break for
Hardee's
lunch?
afterwards.
Hot ham and cheese.
And he also makes this great drink with
The Hulk,
the
right?
Hulk.
Yeah.
What was it?
Hypnotic and was it Mountain Dew or something?
I have no idea,
Something.
but he loved it. I just remember, we were on that shoot and all these great bottles of, alcohol were there and nobody even touched that one brand.
Except for Parker.
Except
He's like, I'm going to make an Incredible Hulk.
Yep.
Everybody turned around like, you're going to dig what?
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to see me when I'm angry
And that was
or drunk.
Yeah, and that was also the same time that we had another client that just went upstairs for a second, then came downstairs in front of the green screen in a Spider-Man outfit. That was just so weird.
Yeah, we should find photos of that.
Yeah, I've got video.
Video with photos.
You're making that up.
No, it doesn't really happen.
No.
Really
Did he have his own Spider-Man?
Yes,
Yeah, he
and
did.
it's not a cheap one. It's a high end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he
And he
nailed
snuck it in here?
He nailed it.
Yeah.
Totally nailed.
So we literally had Spider-Man and Parker.
In the same studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So without further ado, let's get Parker in here.
Yeah, here he is in the flesh. Parker.
Wouldn't it be weirder if I wasn't in the flesh, though?
It would be. It's Halloween.
True.
But still a little disturbing.
Slight jump scare.
Or if you just started losing your flesh, that would be.
Yeah, frightening. It's just a beard floating.
I know.
With this all blurred out.
Welcome to the show, my friend.
Dude, I'm so excited. I know. I try to tone it down some.
You've been referenced a few times now without us even purposefully laying the groundwork.
Yeah.
You came up with the viral cicada punch video, but then also was it small claims or big claims?
Lil
Claims.
Claims.
Yeah.
It's Lil apostrophe claims.
Yeah.
Lil claims. And so the groundwork's been laid, and here you are in person.
It's like the Marvel movies where they're like, this Easter egg from 5
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
We've laid the groundwork.
We should have put those clips after the credits. It's like so people can stick around.
Exactly. They're not even staying for the credits, dude.
Yeah.
We're lucky if they get to the credits.
Yeah.
Well, that's a note for listeners. Maybe you should.
You
now.
should, yeah. Hint,
Maybe-
hint.
Eating shawarma later.
Deep reference there, my friend.
So it has been so long since I've seen you, and you know how much I just absolutely adore you and love you.
Oh, good, you said
right?
adore.
And I've just been like just going through all these thoughts. And it's like, what would fucking Parker do? What would he say? What would he?
Just in any given
Do you need a
situation.
bracelet that says that?
Yeah. WWD. But I know you would have. I know you have just a great. I know you have some feelings about this whole P. Diddy thing.
Way too many.
Oh.
Way too many.
How would you summarize those feelings?
Well, I wasn't at the parties.
Let's start there. Let's
Nice
start
disclaimer
there.
right out of the gate.
Yeah.
Well done.
And my thing is, knowing what you know, if you got an invite, would you go?
Now?
Yeah, like.
Fuck no.
Okay, I don't know. You're like.
Matthew looks he's quizzical right now.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be as crowded.
I'm just a curious person, and I just want to know how much baby oil.
Yeah.
How do you use that much baby oil?
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like when in doubt, just more baby oil.
Yeah.
It's like his version of cowbell.
And even Costco is like, we don't store that much.
We don't even.
Like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
You don't want to know.
And at what point do you buy the oil by the barrel?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Cut out all these, the squirt bottles. Let's just get the barrel.
Yeah.
That's the thing is his carbon footprint on all the bottles is probably
Yeah, if nothing else bothered you, that's where you're landing.
It was recyclable plastic.
I just feel like it's like risky business is sliding through like the hall, like,
On the oil.
on the oil.
And that's exactly what it is. When I think of baby oil, like in that type of, it's like that is so 80s. Did they have a
Rubber
bunch of-
sheets and
did,
baby oil.
Did they have a bunch of water beds too? I mean, come on, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
It's like I'm going to put a movie on my VHS.
I just did the thing where the drug-infused baby oil.
What?
One of his accusers has said that they were using drug-infused baby oil.
Like hits of acid dropped
Something
in,
that made her
absorbed through the
that
skin.
made Jane Doe go unconscious. I'm like, well, they got it all over them too. That doesn't make any sense. Everybody would have just conked out all of
I
it.
really like how Rick has given this a lot of thought. Like,
Yeah.
well, now, wait a minute.
Yeah.
If he's applying it, is he using gloves?
It's
Is
simple
it-
math. They'd had to been wearing suits or something.
It was a white party. They were wearing white suits.
Okay, like hazmat suits.
Hazmat. Yeah.
I just it just blows me away that that happened for so long without anybody.
It's not over. Wait till everything
Yeah.
comes out, I'm sure.
Well, let me take it back a step, because you started this by saying you were certain that Parker had a lot of thoughts.
Yeah.
Why is that? Were you a Diddy fan or just love
Luke
to have your
fan?
finger on the zeitgeist?
He's in the
of-
rap scene. He's in the rap
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
Little claims.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't
grew-
know if that was client written. I didn't know.
I think P Diddy was probably like I did own a pair of Sean John jeans.
Okay.
I
I appreciate the confession.
Yeah. We,
I was
and we
shout
still,
out
we still
Sean
like
John
you.
jeans.
It's okay.
I didn't wear him to the party because I wasn't there. But
the party that you weren't
the
at.
party, I
Did you have a
wasn't at.
Sean John velour tracksuit as well?
Oh, please.
No, and I didn't really.
Oh,
like,
we're gonna
to
get you
rock.
one.
Yeah,
We're gonna
you-
get you one.
Yeah, you could rock it.
Yeah.
Of course you could.
Yeah.
The fro would help. We need.
I need to bring it. If
Yeah,
Rick, me and
listener
Rick
viewer,
pinky promised
there
to grow
used
hair
to be
All right, I'll
a
start.
big, beautiful fro on this young gentleman, and I don't. Was it just a moment of, hey, I just want
I think it was
to
called
change
COVID.
things up?
Well, he's at a school now, and there was a lice incident.
Yeah.
Yeah, too much mayonnaise to get it out.
Gotcha.
But it was just too much maintenance.
I'm
In a
with
way,
you,
Was
man.
it
I'm
maintenance?
with you.
like I put stuff in it.
Oh, you were proud of.
And it's like
Some Soul Glow.
it was just a bad hair day was catastrophic. You know?
It's like, and you're living in the wrong state with all this humidity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad day.
Well,
That
and
pollen.
frankly, if you're a teacher, the last
Oh,
thing you need to
humidity. I
do
thought
is
you
to
said
front
humility.
load.
He has none of that. None of us have that.
Yeah, if you're a teacher, the last thing you want to do is front load a bad day before you even get to class.
like I'm about to get
right?
roasted right now. Like you're already walking in.
That's true. Yeah.
And the
You're
thing
an easy
is,
target.
yeah, and I'm not prone to getting roasted. Like
Oh, I'm sure that's a change.
I mean, in the
yeah.
real world, like I
Yeah.
feel like, but for some reason, like kids,
Well, it's because of your stature.
you're
You're
Mr.
what,
Smith.
6'3"?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
tall are
Yeah,
you?
speaking of,
Yeah,
so,
six-
so
You're 6'3". You got to be pushing like a good solid fit 220.
235.
Still fit and
I've
solid.
actually
Yeah.
dropped weight for some reason.
Have you? Well,
think-
kids will do
Well,
that too.
he took a shit before he came in here.
solid log.
A little lighter coming in. and stuff.
That burrito finally came out that we saw him eat 2 years ago.
Years ago.
I know.
Yeah, so a little backstory on you. So you used to work in this business of being in production.
Yeah.
And you at some point decided to pull the ripcord and get out of it, and then went into teaching.
The same, the
Is
same
there?
thing.
Or what's the origin story there? Have I skipped over something?
No, I mean, I don't think like ripcord get out of it kind of thing. Like so.
And let's cover what you did here first, because from our limited exposure, I knew you flew drones. I watched you learn in real time with live broadcast on completely controlling PTZ multiple cameras. You were very, curious, wanting to learn and do. I assume he was that way throughout all the shoots and studio time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now,
Curious, yeah.
what was the moment that what took you from that to, I want to teach a lot of this to high school kids?
Because that's what you do. You teach.
I can tell you what it is. I
Media
can tell you
arts.
exactly what it is. He was like, I can have a job where I can work decent hours.
They made you a soccer coach, right?
and be a soccer coach, and not
'Cause that's your other passion
Not
was-
deal with this fucking industry that we're in sometimes. Because it's a 24/7.
Yeah, it's not a 9 to 5.
Well, and it's like one of those things where like I tell my kids, like I love what I did before this, and like that's what's I guess would be hard because you're trying to get
and
kids.
most serial killers say that.
Yeah,
True.
but
He's not wrong.
And that paper that you're going to finally send to the newspapers at some point, right?
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Your manifest.
well, it's like
Where do you keep those little collectibles that you?
which one?
Isn't it hard maintaining a single train of thought in the room here? We're trying to get used to it.
This is ADHD's worst nightmare coming
it's
through
fucking
here.
horrible.
Like, I'm like,
3D whack-a-mole.
PTZ, all that.
Welcome back
what
to
you were
production.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah, but so my wife also teaches.
Okay.
And you know, just the idea of like, dang, same schedule, like, and you know, just being like the consistency of like with having two young ones.
So was she
right
the
now.
one that first heard about a possible opportunity for you to do that? Or did you then, once the thought occurred, you decided, hey, I'm going to see what it's going to take for me to make this transition and jump through whatever hoops were involved?
Well, so she would like, 'cause there's a portal that has like basically all the job openings, and she's like, oh, broadcasting cinematography.
Oh, it was right there.
Yeah, at Ballard, and I'm like, kind of, I guess like ignorance is bliss of like, what? I don't know why I couldn't, you know?
You're like, all my teachers were idiots.
Yeah. Like, I was like, I had one that was like probably drunk all the time. Like,
And now your kids have one.
Yeah, I know.
Well, so did that come along first and then the coaching opportunity?
Well, so I was already coaching.
Okay.
And so that was kind of like,
that was your side hustle already.
yeah, and it was kind of like, well, I enjoy like this age group. Like if it was middle school, I'd be like,
What age group is it?
high school. So
Okay.
This year I'm doing freshman, sophomore. Last year and the year before I was sophomore, juniors. And I don't know, it's something about like working with kids like that are trying to figure out what they want to do.
Because you're not that, not to pull you down, but you're not that far removed. How
Mentally,
long
yeah.
ago?
Yeah, mentally.
Right, and emotionally, and
Yeah.
No. How many years ago did you graduate high school?
13.
Yeah. So,
Go
as
to
I
hell.
gotta say, as a
Go straight to hell.
First of all, go to hell. Second,
See you guys there.
Second, I'm thinking back to when I was in high school. How awesome and badass that would be if I'd had a teacher that was that
We did.
quickly removed from, because all of my teachers, I think the majority, that wasn't the case. So you're still close enough in age to, you get them.
Well, and the thing is, like, it doesn't get by me what they say either.
Right.
I'm like,
Yeah.
It will eventually. It will eventually.
But
I'm
right
so
now it
chronically
does.
online though
Yeah.
that I'm like,
Do you ever go to X Hamster?
We've covered that earlier.
He signed a form earlier to not divulge any of that information.
That's right.
I'm really not into rodents. To be honest with you.
Well done. Well played. Well done.
Yeah, current or former.
So let me ask you another question. I know you've got to be a great coach. You've got to be a great motivator.
Did you play
And-
soccer? Like,
Yeah,
okay.
I played.
Or
well,
are you learning on the job how to?
well,
He's Ted Lassoing it.
so which sucks because everybody's
it's
like,
called a pitch.
everybody's like,
In the-
you watch Ted Lasso, right? And I'm like, yeah, but
But that's not my story, bro.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
no, well, my dad coached like since the '80s, still does at Midway and soccer, yeah, and it's weird because he was also a teacher, and growing up, you're like, shut up, Dad, you know, and then you're like, I'm my dad right now, like
Yeah.
I'm a
Oh, yeah.
teacher and a
Yeah.
coach, and
Well,
Coming full circle.
Must have had a pretty big impact on you then.
Yeah.
I mean, you're doing both things now. So that's got to be a good feeling for your dad.
yeah, and you know, and it's something that we can bond over,
Yeah.
but he's like teacher first, and you know, I'm the same way, but it's like, hey, let's talk about soccer. And he's like, let's talk about school. I'm like, no, like, dude, let me pick your brain, you know, and all that.
Also, I hate you, Dad.
Yeah, shut up, Dad.
Well,
My day sucked.
before we end up, wrapping up the show today, I just have one favor, and we've only got like maybe we're not wrapping up now. I just want to make sure we don't.
Say what you said.
I just want to make sure.
Did I black out?
No. I just want to make sure this happens. Is we've only got like maybe 6 listeners, And we really
that includes those in the room. So.
And I'm not really listening.
No, he's not.
And Tim said he would listen to this.
He's not listening while he's here. Rick refuses to taking the effort to go online.
His hearing aids are on the table. He's checked out right now.
And we really need
need
a coach. We really need a coach to give us a pep talk.
Yeah, could you put a sign above the door that says believe?
Could you give us a pep talk? Could you give us a pep? At the end, we need a pep talk.
Okay.
So you want to make sure before this is done.
Yeah, we got to have a pep talk.
So there's the seed.
Coach Parker has to give us a pep talk.
Yeah.
Do you want it from the perspective of like you're my guys, or like for like this podcast? Like I believe in this podcast.
That's too many questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah. Well, both.
I think coach's choice.
I know,
coach's choice.
Just read the room, Coach.
Yeah. Read the locker room, Coach.
You guys are playing like pussies.
You guys are 0-17.
Yeah.
Sorry, Coach.
My job is on the line.
Hey, Rick, do you still have a bath towel over there so you can snap her ass?
Why would I have a bath towel?
Is this a Sandusky pep talk, or is this a...
He does, but he's wearing it right now. He doesn't have any pants on.
I'm sitting on it. And you don't want to know why.
He just got out of our podcast shower.
I have to give credit for the subtlety of the use of the word still.
Thank you.
Do you still have a
No, I don't.
It's probably wrapped around that adolescent deer.
Trying to save it.
Yeah.
All right, so you've got to have some good stories from being a teacher.
What's the one thing that's really shocked you? Just in the 13 years that you've been out and how things happen.
I thought you meant 13 years teaching. I was like, man,
No.
It was like,
Time's flown by.
13 years of being out of school, and then this scene like.
man, I think like the most shocking, and I think policy
That you can
will
divulge.
change.
Yeah.
No names.
Yeah. Well,
You could tell us names later.
you never know once this goes viral and like all the school.
Don't worry, it's not going to.
But
We love Rick's confidence in this show.
Not unless
You just might get a
Rick has
mild-
a cicada that's like waiting
Yeah.
to.
well, dude, my pep.
Rick is over
like
there saying that in
fever.
his bath towel.
I think like just how, and keep in mind, I went to school in Frankfurt, so like even just being at a school with over,
Frankfurt, Kentucky listener.
yeah, not Germany.
Germany.
Yeah.
I
But
love the hamburger.
so even that's so much different, like coming to school with like over 2,000, which is like the size of a
The population of Frankfurt.
yeah. Just
A lot of kids.
cell phone addiction. And,
Just
you know,
seeing the kids dealing with that.
It's like, what? Yeah, like that's
So
that's
there's
what's
no
shocking.
current policy in place there that they put the phone away when they come into school.
Or is there, and they just ignore it?
It's kind of like teacher discretion, and like so. I
But
mean,
not a hard policy.
But I'm like telling them like they're screen recording audio to airdrop to get around like MP3 converters and audio.
This is in class.
in
as
class.
part of
so
the work. Yeah.
so like I'm like you can use your cell phone for work, and then
yeah.
Treat it like a tool.
Because isn't
Yeah.
there initial
Yeah.
talk going on now about, based on all of the information that we now know of, like more and more schools, that's now up on the table of
It's-
policies where it's a hardcore. If
Put it
a
in
phone,
a pouch.
Put it in a pouch,
Yeah.
or it stays in your locker,
Yeah.
or
And
something.
And that's going to be really, really smart during
Yeah,
the next
it
school
is.
shooting.
That-
During the next school shooting, where nobody
Well,
can. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
you got to think about these things in context. It's like
That sucks that we have to even think about that.
I know, but I'm just saying. I mean, how are kids going to be able to like say, "Look, there's something going on in this school"? And
Yeah.
Well,
And-
so like we have basically it's like a microphone, and I don't use it because I'll talk loud.
I've got one too.
But
It's really
yeah,
cool.
it's kind of like this, but it goes around your neck
In your classroom.
and it's like so you can talk just because. I mean, I don't.
How big are the classes?
what, like 30?
Yeah, probably like
And you're also in a
25.
discipline-driven class, so
Yeah,
you're
but
not
like on a-
total gen pop. It's like media arts.
yeah, and
kids.
but it's like on a Monday where I'm not trying to be like, okay, make sure we get out our MacBooks. We're still picking up on the finishing your scripts for PSAs. Like, I don't want to be talking to the kid all the way over there, but like
Yeah.
just so I could talk like almost like this, and it's
Right.
still
Carry.
yeah, and I have it turned down, but it has signals on like buttons you can press that will
Like
alert.
panic buttons?
Yeah, but I mean,
Oh, really?
also for like
Like DJ Bugs.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I have that DJ effect.
So there's like things in place, and like, but I think, I mean, I get what you're saying, and like, hopefully the weapons detectors that we have in the building, you know,
that's
nothing
so
never
weird to even
happens.
say that word.
I know.
It's like TSA in a way,
crazy.
but it's like peace of mind, and we have our doors locked. So in my room, I'm like, I feel pretty confident. I'm so naive that I'm like, man, I'm gonna tackle the guy, you know. So,
which is it's just sad that like you have to. That's just now part of your job.
Yeah,
like it's just a thing you consider.
And it's like there'd be like a threat, you know, maybe once a year, but my day to day, I'm not thinking about that at all, kind of thing, just because there's like so much going on throughout the day.
And that's just the craziest thing, you know. When I was younger, I mean, it was like. There was never guns brought to school. I mean, you would
maybe
find,
a knife every now and then for a fight.
You would find a place after school, someplace away from school to fight.
Right.
Yeah. You know?
It's like off of school grounds, so you didn't get suspended.
Hardy's parking lot at 7 o'clock.
Yeah. At my school, it was always Toke Road.
Toke Road.
Oh,
yeah.
I've been
we called ours the Hill.
I've been on Toke Road a few times.
I know, yeah.
Been on.
You know, like you'd see a fight in the hallway and you hear from the back, "Take it to Toke, man."
Ours was Taylor Ben. Ours was Taylor Ben.
It had a lot of potholes in it.
And it was like, see you Taylor Ben after school.
That was Steve's nickname. He's Pothole.
Do you know what I find really interesting though? It's so ironic that I hear, you know, Parker talking about these students being addicted to their devices.
How did you experience Parker as an employer?
That never happened here at all.
I feel like maybe I'm not hearing the truth.
As we all glance.
On shoots.
You'd be on a shoot and he's over there TikToking his ass off.
No, I mean,
come on.
I punched a cicada. Did you see?
Yeah.
But it is. You're right, man. It's I hate to see
and
that.
I mean, it's like, hey, can you put your phone down? Oh, yeah, okay. And then, like, immediately, and like,
it's an addiction.
Yeah, and we have a podcast set up, and they do podcasts, and there's like,
competitor guy.
yeah,
in your room in your class.
What's the name of your podcast? For promoting, you promote ours.
But for instance, like I watched the episode, and the kid's like, yeah, you know, like talking just like the whole time, like on his phone. I'm like, God. There's no even talking to each other. It's like, hey, man. And headphones.
This is primary, and everything else is just okay. I'll fit you in.
Yeah, and I'm just like, when they die and the life flashes before their eyes, it's just gonna be like this with just memes popping up. Like they're just gonna. That's all they're doing, and that's the part where I'm like, we need to ban it because there's like it's a drug.
Well, I have long said, and we've had this conversation before, not to go too deep in the esoteric, but if you look at it from like a paleontologist, you know, an evolution point of view, I do think whether it's 50, 100, or whatever years from now, we'll look back and realize our species was not ready for this device.
No.
We just weren't. Or how it was deployed, or just in the big, long scale of going from knuckle draggers to upright walkers. And this thing, just
everything you want is
just not ready.
And it's not only that, you know, it is the whole, you know, like you said, addiction. When you've got companies that have literally tried to make that algorithm to where you don't put it down, and where you're always looking.
When that's the intent.
And how they've targeted young folks. And you know, and I find myself sometimes like,
but you get lost in it.
At the end of the day, it's like I just want to purge my brain for a little bit.
But the difference is you're an adult, and it's not your formative years that you're then basic. That's not the foundation of how you identify.
He's not an adult yet.
Well, that's true. I use that loosely.
Based
on age.
And it's not my formative years at all.
You haven't hit those yet.
Your deformative years.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's also the misinformation. It's like we were talking earlier.
The truth as an opinion is bullshit.
I cannot believe how many people really still think that the government can control the weather, and it just blows me away. It's like, do you really believe that? I mean, yes, you know, during the Olympics in China, you know, China was doing some cloud seeding. That's been around forever.
Doing it in Saudi Arabia too.
Yeah, where you can shoot rockets with, you know, silver iodine, and
but you're not forming hurricanes
that are 300 miles wide.
It's just educated guesswork.
Yeah,
They're just basically shooting chemicals up there and hoping it works.
Yeah.
They're not controlling.
But you got people that the truth has just become so nobody cares about the truth anymore, and social media has done that. And
so, do you find that with kids? Do they question you more? Because when we were growing up, we just had shows that would just show a parent that knew everything for the most part, and so there was this kind of a mysticism about parents. They always have the answer. Mm-hmm. And that is gone now. Like, we know that adults are just as stumped about how to deal with life as everybody else is. So do you find that with kids now that they have this knowledge that adults don't know what they're doing either? Or do they question? Do they question
even more because they've got all the information? In their
so
hand.
do they question, like, they can look up, like, if you say something, like, if you look at
fake news,
they can fact check you in real time. So I
don't think they care enough to fact check me. Like, in that sense, they're just like, oh, like, that was cool that they used, this was a one take shot, things like that. Like, no one's really like, or sometimes I'm like fact checking myself. Like,
well, good for you, partner.
Like today, I was like, oh, the Barbie movie cost $153 million to make, and there was a pink paint shortage.
There was, absolutely.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
Yes, there was a pink paint. That's the truth.
They were like, was it really a pink? And it is funny because, like, it's like, well, you should just look it up yourself. Like, you can just look it up, but I think there's also like a sense of like, oh man, like, because they see online like entrepreneur. That's like a thing. Like, kids like 1.5 GPAs. It's like, well, man, what are you gonna do after school? It's like,
I'm gonna be an entrepreneur.
I know. I was like, what are you gonna sell?
An influencer on Instagram.
And not even that. Like, it's just like, well, what are you gonna sell? I'll figure it out. I'm like, okay,
weed.
I mean,
a lot of weed.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of weed.
Yeah, there's one kid. Man, I'm already making money. I'm like, sure you are, buddy. Kind of things.
Boy.
And I mean, one kid was selling hoodies. And like some kids, they'll make fashion and stuff. And I'm like,
I like a
fashion.
quoted
fashion.
Like, I know what they think is cool, and I'm just like, I don't even think other people do. But it's like, and then I'm like,
but at least they're trying.
And I'm like, oh, let me buy a hoodie. How much is it? $50. I'm like, I don't get that cold. Like, I don't, the heat is actually, I can't even control the heat. It's actually too hot in here already.
Yeah.
But it's like that kind of things. Well, and I try to like tell them, like, because we'll do product, like, my assignments are basically like, we'll do music videos, PSAs, like podcast, like anything, even like to get to know you. I was like, well, just do like a blog about yourself, like vlog about yourself. And if you can make money off it.
And text it directly to me at midnight.
Airdrop.
We promised him we wouldn't get him fired.
I know.
God.
Disclaimer, Parker.
Continue, Parker.
At any time.
but like, the kid making hoodies. I'm like, we're doing the product videos next week. Just bring the shirts in. And
that's cool.
That's
awesome.
like, and then they don't. But like,
of course,
stuff like that. But
I mean, that's the thing. Like, you're gonna find that there's gonna be you've got a class of say 30 kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what's your breakdown?
Yeah, you're gonna hit like 2 or 3 kids that are super serious. They're gonna actually take this to do something.
They're gonna kill it.
Yeah. And I was telling Tim on the way, like, that's like the only thing like I had to get used to is like, man, every one of these kids is gonna be either an anchor or a camera, and it's
they're
like
all engaged.
And that's the hard part for me is like, but the two that I'm like, hey. Like, they're writing scripts on their own.
Yeah.
And I'm like, here's from my script class, like, here's my college book. Like, just borrow it until you don't need it kind of thing. Because you're going to do something. Like, if you need to borrow stuff over break in the summer, like, you can check out this equipment. Like, so that's kind of, you're going to hit, like, maybe 4 or 5 per class.
If you're lucky.
24. Yeah. And if you're lucky. And that's the only thing that's been kind of hard where it's like, dang, what am I doing this for?
No.
Right?
But the thing is, I'm going to tell you, and with my personal experience,
From a bunch of old guys.
You have that one teacher.
Yeah.
You have that one teacher that really understands your passion for something. And mine, it took me later in life, and it was in college. With Steve White and Joanne Ryan at Western Kentucky University. It was like, oh wow, these people really understand.
Looking for any sponsorship from Western Kentucky University.
Yeah. I mean, they really understand that I'm passionate about this, and they're really spending time with you and teaching you, and you know,
it's impactful.
You can't look at where it's, you know, stuff is failing. You got to look where you're succeeding and the lives that you're changing, because, you know, if you're changing one child's life to have an amazing career, I mean, you know, I felt that just watching you and past employees that have been through Video Bread. And, you know, it's when you see somebody that achieves that goal of being an adult, of being a responsipaying citizen, it's you know,
we're just glad you're paying taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are paying taxes, right?
I mean, that's automatic, right? I don't initiate that process, do I? Yeah. So, well, to continue that thought, I would just ask, you know, I can't imagine what it feels like, you know, when you're looking in that room of 30 and 28 are like, whatever, dude. But
well, he was in enough client meetings before then.
I was
I was also saying the same thing. Like, you want this by Thursday? Whatever, dude.
Well, I guess so. My other thing is, are you intentionally trying to make a point to not diss those kids that seem disengaged? Like, it's easy to find yourself talking to these two up front, but do you make an intentional sort of effort to continue playing to the whole room?
Yeah, so I mean, when they're in group work, for instance, like
because a lot of your stuff is project based,
yeah. And for instance, right now, we like to do holiday videos, kind of fun, like so we're doing Halloween
That's
videos
awesome.
that, I mean, they're not gory or anything. Some of them are goofy, and they're all in different stages based off, like, some kids are like ready to shoot, but it's like, you need to come up with a script, and then I print off like storyboard, have like all these storyboard templates.
Let me ask you this: do you bingo it to assign the team groups, or do they assemble themselves, and then you have to intervene for kids that aren't engaged? Or
it gets to that point with some classes where it's just like, God,
forced cohabitation.
Like, I know you guys are friends, but you guys like it's not.
It's not hang time.
And it's like when we watch all the projects back, it's kind of like, dude, you know, like, when
how do you fake enjoyment of watching some of these?
Same way we do.
I was going to say the same thing. I know.
That cut deep, Rick.
It's one of those, like,
touche.
It's like the silence is loud right now, kind of thing, because it's like we watch the video.
You're like, I appreciate the effort.
Yeah, I'm like, you know, like the way you like did that thing, like, good acting, and
just like my acting right now.
Whereas like the group before, I was just like, dude, like, that was a perfect L cut, like, oh, you know, like all this, and it's like
you got to find the little thread.
It's just like, you know, honestly, you know, it's kind of like bringing it back to like, when I talked about you have to have multiple angles because, like, this isn't Birdman. Like,
oh no, this is not Birdman at all.
Yeah, like, because one group did.
This is not Birdman.
They're like, what? And I'm like,
also, what is Birdman? Like,
and so like having ADHD, it's like, hold up, you guys don't know what Birdman is. Like,
that guy off Rick and Morty.
Yeah, you know, Michael Keaton, he was the Vulture, he was Batman, and
he does all the winged characters.
Yeah, he does.
I'll tell you what, man. Michael Keaton is still like the best. We finally saw the new Beetlejuice. I loved it.
I haven't seen it yet.
I thought it was really good, man.
Okay, it's on our list. We did a revisit of the original.
Yep,
and,
we did too. And
it's a bit slow.
Oh, the original was like, do I really want to see the sequel now?
I know.
I mean, you know.
Well, I haven't seen it yet, but B was telling me that they still emulate the old school practical effects throughout to keep that sort of art direction.
Nice.
And
Well, that was the style of it.
Yeah.
So
hopefully the pace.
We don't want to like totally live in this whole teacher thing.
No. I feel like
what are you doing for fun?
Yeah.
What are you
like we, you know, whenever we have a guest on, we've put together this little questionnaire of things we want our guests to fill out.
Yeah.
And one of the things you put on here is you enjoy food.
I enjoy food, dude. Yeah.
And we showed that when we put the little claims video of you eating a burrito. Was it a burrito or was it a?
Yeah. It was a burrito.
It was like a forearm size.
It was, it was literally.
That was an aggressive size.
That was the second time he'd done that. First time was on a shoot, right? Was it after like a U of L shoot that we went down there? And
third time. So the first time I didn't that day. It's all for the love of the game. Honestly.
Don't hate the play, I hate the game.
I have like a.
he's a Steph Curry of food.
He turns around, puts asleep.
I did one. I did
Flash
like
the smile at the camera every time he finishes a burrito.
I did a time lapse video of me eating one in the lobby once, and it's just like you just see Tim. Like, what the fuck? I walk back, almost like the King of the Hill intro, like. Yeah. And
what the hell, Bobby?
That time at U of L, like. That was, for some reason, like, I felt so full after that I honestly
What do you mean, some reason?
It's the size of an arm.
Compared to the others, it's like, why now? And it was like, I was like in the back of the van, and Annie was like, "Man, are you gonna live?" And I'm like,
not past 40.
Do I have to carry the C stands back in?
Are you gonna live not past 40?
Are you not gonna? It's like, man, I can't file workers' comp on overeating. So
yeah, because he had a really good. You had a really good Instagram. What was it?
Dat Boy Eats.
At Dat Boy Eats. That's a boy with a BOI.
Yeah.
Follow Parker.
At Dat Boy Eats.
Yeah, DATBOIEATS.
Do you miss all the food travel that you did with us? Or
it's funny because when kids are like, "Man, what do you miss?" And it's like
chalupas.
and it's like, well, this will take all day. And
he goes through each food item he ate when he was here, right?
And it's like, because there's so many things and like
that I like to eat
or drink.
No, but like working here, and it's not just because you're here kind of thing. Yeah. But like I tell him, I'm like, dude, it was the most fun, and I tell him it because it really is like with this when the second one was born, it was like I have to get a consistent like schedule.
Yeah.
But it's like, and it's not something I could ask from you guys because it's just like
it's just not
it's not work. And it wasn't as bad with the first one. Like when we did when we flew to New York, it was like I remember we had to be at the airport at 3:00, and my son woke up at like 1:00, and I was like, oh, you know, like
those last
and then getting in like an argument because I had to like it was my turn to change the diaper, and then then turbulence was on the plane, and I'm like, man, this is the last thing I ever say to my wife, like an argument about changing.
Oh,
a
you mean
diaper.
the plane had turbulence? It wasn't a guy named Turbulence.
No. Turbo Lane.
He was on the plane.
Sounds like a really good rapper. You know,
Turbulence was on the plane.
Yeah, he was going to one of those white parties.
What's up, motherfucker?
but
that's a moment that sticks in your head, though, right?
Yeah,
where you're like, really, my last word's gonna be.
Yeah, and I remember like I think I was like in the airport, like telling you like, oh, God, I'm in an argument right now. Like I don't know if I can get out of this because it's like because you're like I'm so high and mighty. I have to be at work at 3:00. Like I'm not. I'm better than changing this diaper and stuff. And
that'll ground you right quick.
Yeah. And then the second one, I was like there because like with coaching, my wife is like a freaking trooper. Like because. I mean,
because of the schedule.
I'm out, you know, because with practice being late and stuff, like
and games and
when the season's over, it's like, all right, I'm doing, and I still come home and do bedtimes and stuff when they stay up later.
Well, that's the least
stuff.
you can do.
Yeah. Dishes?
Yeah.
Hell no.
Yeah, dishes.
You come in for the closing act like the headliner.
Dude,
You're coming in like the headliner.
Dude, that's the thing. It's like
your mom's the opener.
Yeah. You're making her do the hard. She's all the open acts.
Dude, the crowd work and all that.
Yeah. You come in with the big time story. Ooh,
Mommy, when Daddy kisses me, in bed and tucks me in, why does he smell like alcohol?
I've gotten that.
and that was the funniest thing about because our season's wrapping up, and like we didn't have practice today, and it's like, hey, I know I said like I was gonna be home, but I got to do the pod with the boys. Like, this is bucket list.
Well, and see that, and that comes back.
Your bucket list is terrible.
Question your bucket.
Well, and that totally comes back. You had to come here and coach us, and that's what I was saying is, we would love a pep talk at some point.
Right? Yeah.
We've got a few more minutes, but before this is over, we're gonna improve the show.
For the listeners, like, we got to keep them listen. So it's going to be at the end.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Could this be like? Could Parker be like I don't know, every 3-month guest? Just
a recurring character.
Yeah.
Check in.
Yeah.
I have different hair lengths.
Oh, yeah. I think that would be great. I think that would be awesome.
Well, let me ask
more
you,
advertising on your shirt next time.
I was heading the same direction. Can you talk about that?
Which part?
Well, just all of it. What are we looking at?
So this is a Dale Earnhardt Hawaiian shirt. And the thing is, I'm not the biggest NASCAR guy.
Right.
And it's like my wife.
You're the tallest, probably.
My wife says
you can't fit in the car.
You're definitely not the heaviest. You might be the tallest. But I love your search for size equation.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, Rick Boone is a huge NASCAR fan, and he was the only guy I knew for a long time that was a NASCAR fan that carried a purse.
it was a European handbag.
It was a Dale Earnhardt
It was
purse.
a satchel that Chewbacca has.
Yeah.
And a 3 on it.
And my wife says, like, I think you just like concepts more than you like things.
See, I love that.
You know, like, I love, and like Star Wars has fallen off, and it's not like I watch the movies all the time, but it's like, I just love the
concept.
I love
that world.
Yeah,
like the
same.
world. And it's like,
Guilty.
you know, and I remember walking into Walmart when they had the TVs in the front, and it's like, I thought this was that before 9/11?
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, bro.
Are they
Sorry,
security TVs?
Sorry, when Dale Earnhardt died.
Oh.
What about it?
I thought you were talking about the TV showing up in Walmart.
It
Planes hit and there was monitors in Walmart.
I feel like Dale Earnhardt dying was the first 9/11 in the sense of like the world stopped turning in Frankfort, Kentucky Walmart. When,
That is a very specific.
Were you in the Walmart when the news came?
I remember walking
You'd
in
never
and
forget where you were.
I was watching 500.
Mommy, why is that grown man crying? And like what the, like, and that was like a Dale Earnhardt died, like all this, and so like I have like Dale Earnhardt pop figure, like wall clock, like used to have a mug until my wife broke it, and I'm not holding a grudge on her. But
I feel like we could do another episode on that.
There might be a part 2 here.
yeah, but
Or
like,
a part 3 for Dale.
but
Big up to Dale.
raise
love you,
hell,
DE.
yeah, raise hell and praise Dale. But I was just like, I saw this shirt in my algorithm, and I was like, this is the only,
Which speaks to me.
the only Dale Earnhardt fan like right here, and was pumping this on like, buy this shirt. You know, it's like
You finally succumbed.
yeah, I can't say no that many times.
Yeah.
Like,
You folded like a lawn chair and just.
yeah.
Has anybody else, speaking of, I acknowledge that. Something a few weeks ago where it was like I kept seeing ad, and intentionally were like, God, please. And I clicked.
Yeah.
Ended up.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah.
man,
I've done it.
I mean, it was something not completely
Oh,
unrelated.
and it was totally bullshit. Like, I saw this great, like, I was telling you guys before, you know, when you
the disappointment of the delivery.
Oh no! Yeah. when you hit your mid-40s, you either like start smoking meat, you either like
It's back to this hamster bullshit.
no. You either start
You've
smoking
been
meat.
smoking meat for a long time.
You didn't have to turn 40.
You either start smoking meat, or you become
keep
like a
that meat
huge
in.
WW2 World War II buff,
Oh.
or you just become an avid bird watcher. And I'm like, I love birds, right? I love watching birds.
My wife's going through that.
So I was going through, you know, all the social media, you know, the ads was popping up with this beautiful, like this huge, seat. Basically, you could lift up your window of your house. And
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we have one of those.
Yep.
And I was like, oh man, that's a great. I'm going to buy one. This is great.
And what was the reality?
The reality was it was only this big. I don't know how it fits in any fucking window
For those
that I've ever
listening just
had.
audio wise, Jamie is holding up about a 6-inch.
I mean,
He tries to use the same judgment for another question,
but I was
he's
so
lying.
I was so disappointed, and it was like, you got to be kidding me. And I think I paid like
Hey, so with the birds.
$90. We don't have a window that small. I mean, it's like, oh my God, what kind of window does this go into? Like a doghouse window? I mean, but I'm with you on that, and it's just they get you.
Yeah, you pulled the trigger on this shirt though.
I had to.
And you're flexing hard.
Rocking the shit out of that shirt.
Yeah.
Good on you.
Is the back just more of what I'm seeing here?
Honestly, I haven't seen it all.
I'm just disappointed.
Do you still have your?
It's clear.
Do you still have your Waldo shirt that we got in Hermosa Beach?
Dude, I will never throw that away. I've thrown away a lot of clothes, but that's like that.
That
That's
was one of the best
Is it
shirts
a
we've ever
red
had.
and white stripes like Waldo, or it has a shitload of
I'll have
Waldos
to
on
send
it?
you the picture. We'll have to put the picture up because it is undescribable.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
I remember you walked out with that on.
I think
He
I
bought
took
it.
my
Yeah.
shirt
Like,
off.
do you
in
want to
the
put the
middle
back?
of
No,
bought it.
I'll wear it.
We saw it in the window of the store, and he bought it and put
I
it
like, had
on.
to
was
lean
quite
over
amazing.
for them to scan it. Like, boom.
And I
Apple Pay.
I miss your shoe game.
Oh yeah, you guys.
What is your favorite shoes that you've ever worn in your life?
Oh, Crocs.
And I remember you having
Because of the idea and the concept of Crocs, not because they're cool
Yeah.
and like the most comfy.
Right.
Here we are.
We've talked about them
Hermosa
in an
Beach.
earlier
Yeah,
episode.
your Croc fetish has come up in the previous
We were in Hermosa.
Well, about the
Fetish.
history of them in the movie.
Oh yeah, and
Shit.
Crocs, the musical.
Idiocracy.
Idiocracy.
Oh,
yeah.
Croc 2. You've seen Croc 2.
Crocodile Dundee.
To Electric
But
Boogaloo.
here we are.
Croc,
Here we
Croc.
are in Hermosa Beach. We're interviewing like a record executive that produced some of the best Warner Brother records like ever. Like we're talking Prince, we're talking whatever. And I'm just like excited to be there and shit. And Parker, is just like, hey,
Rocking
man.
the Crocs.
He's like, nice Croc. And then all of a sudden they just have like an hour conversation about
Yeah.
Because
Crocs.
you comment on the
Gibbets and
Crocs.
stuff.
Yeah,
And, like,
yeah.
Gibbets.
and that dude, man, that guy was so cool.
He was so cool.
And
dude.
he did so many things that like talking about the vinyl wrapping of the cars and then basically the soundtrack to I think it was like Madden.
Yeah.
Or something. I'm like,
Yep.
this guy's like actually been in my life, like in the
Yep.
sense of like things that he's done.
And we're sitting here talking about Crocs.
I mean,
Yeah.
dude, he had cool Crocs. He had like
Yeah.
a Lightning McQueen gibbet and stuff. Like,
Ka-chow.
yeah,
I remember my son having that.
yeah.
I remember getting those for B.
Yeah.
For his 6th birthday.
I think it was 4.
Don't give him too much credit. He was
One
only
more
4.
question. One more question. Is your bed shaped like a race car? Do you want it to be? Do you want it to be?
Is this? Do you guys have one?
This is
Jamie's trying to get rid of one.
Oprah.
Look under your seat.
This isn't Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Sometimes the receipts after shoots get lost, and it's like, fuck, give Parker that thing. Like, no, my son's is like a Jeep. Mine is just like an IKEA. Like,
Yeah.
that's the thing that sucks about growing
What kind
up.
of car is that?
It's not a Kia. It's an IKEA.
IKEA.
It's a Telluride.
He sleeps in a Kia.
The Kia boy
If I was
stole my
you,
bed.
if I was you, I'd take the Jeep. But
Yeah,
Did you just hear what he said? He said the Kia boy stole his bed.
Dude, it's the number one stolen bed right now. Dude.
What stolen bed?
Fuck, dude, I didn't know. I gotta get out of bed and put the thing over my pillow.
You get a pillow club.
Dude, and that's the thing about growing up that, I mean, like, I thought I was going to have like a see-through plastic house phone and like my furniture was going to be inflatable and like a car bed. And it's like, no, it's just IKEA. It's just-
and you had to put it
not too
together
late.
yeah.
yourself.
And the walls are great.
Amazon's got everything.
Yep.
You can still have those, Parker. You just may not have a wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the man cave, and that's where like the Dale Earnhardt and Pop Figures and Millennium Falcon Lego set is.
Oh, I think we
Is
need
this
a.
a part of your basement that you're
Yeah.
describing?
It's like the furthest part of the room, like kind of thing.
I think you're going to have to share those photos with us so we can see the man cave.
I need to clean it out.
Yeah, you need to clean it up a little bit first.
I got to move the body.
Kind of like Jamie's browsing history. You need to clean it up a little bit before you share it.
What is X Hamster and why did you get there so many times?
He has something on his Apple Watch, like when his heart rate stops, the fail safe goes off.
Once again, this podcast is brought to you by Apple Watch.
Exactly. I'm telling you, man. Everybody, I thought about getting one of those medical braces that says, "Please, clear my browser history." I mean, seriously. I mean,
that was it.
You got to do it every
Jamie.
night before you go to bed.
We got you, buddy. We got you.
I know you guys do.
I just love how into tech you are, and you haven't heard of incognito mode yet.
Well, see, the thing they can still track you in incognito mode. You need a really.
They can, but your relatives can't.
But you always need a good VPN, and I do.
Oh, you like a good VPN?
Who do you recommend, Jamie?
PIA.
They're the best. Yeah.
And what's the
really
website for PIA? So they could download this app. And
PIA
stands for private internet access.
It's the best.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's really good. I still would strongly sing higher praises for Apple Ultra to watch.
Watch, yeah.
Yeah,
and also, please visit penisland.com.
Yes, Penn Island.
That's our new sponsor,
penisland.com.
For all your pen needs.
Feeling isolated like you're on an island? You might need a pen to write home.
Custom pens.
You need a pen pal?
Any color, any shape, any size. Go to penisland.net.
Is it .net?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Because somebody else says .com. So it's
.gov.
There's another Penn Island.
Yeah.
on
Well, the
.com.
penisland.com is parked. Somebody's sitting on it.
Somebody's sitting on, and obviously the guys at .net were not about to pay that rent.
No.
What about .gov?
Yeah, that's a good one. We need to visit that one for sure. So
Penisland.net.
Yeah.
One more time, Rick, for the listeners.
Penn Island. For all your pen needs.
And I'm just going to say,
penisland.net.
you might want to turn on incognito mode when you go there.
Why is that, Jamie?
No, it's
Why are pens nasty?
I don't know.
it's totally safe.
Ink gets
It's
everywhere.
totally safe.
There's inks all
Just
over
type
the
it in your browser and you'll see what I mean.
Yep. It's just like getting that personalized license plate saying therapist.
Yeah.
Yikes.
You really need to sound it out
Yeah,
from
yeah.
the plate
Please,
before you
yeah.
commit to it.
Yeah.
I'll take the rapist for 400
Are you a therapist? No.
That's therapist, you bumbling fool.
Oh, you thought I was a therapist?
Well, Parker, what are you consuming right now? Food, beverages, shows, movies.
Yeah,
books?
something come to mind.
Oh man,
That's one thing we like to share, like what we're watching.
Okay, so
I'm drinking bourbon right now.
this is
Don't forget, he proposed to his wife, and was it Taco Bell? Or
No,
that was a
on
baby
Penn
announcement.
Island.
I prefer,
That was a baby announcement,
on
right?
Penn Island.
They went to Penn Island. They're on vacation.
one-way ticket to Penn Island, Spirit Airlines.
This dude loves some Taco Bell.
Yeah, we rode Boeing there and everything, dude.
With the windows rolled down.
Dude, there's not even a gremlin. It's not even safe enough for that. But no, we proposed at the North Pole.
Oh, wow.
What?
Like the real North Pole,
No,
not the one at St. Matthews.
No, we went to.
That's what he calls it.
the North Pole. That's where Penn Island is.
Actually, it
She
was.
thought it was the island of misfits, but
She wasn't wrong.
It was actually.
Oh, it didn't fit all right.
the movie Elf. It was a set of the movie Elf, and
Like the real movie.
the North Pole. No, it was at the Gaylord. Don't say Gaylord. Bill.
Gaylord.
Gayland, Opryland. Hotel.
Gayland?
Oh, yeah.
Now you come with
Gaylord.
Gaylord.
It's where it's
Gaylord.
right
What
next to
is
penis.
That's Penn Island.
Penn Island. Sorry, dude, I'm
Next
over
to
here.
Gayland.
Gayland.
Gaylord
Opryland.
Hotel.
Gaylord, yeah.
Gaylord, Opryland. They had like holiday movies.
Yes.
Whatever.
Yeah, they go. That's big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
when
I-
you drove there, it was with the intention. You knew you were going to
I was like
propose.
at the North Pole,
Okay.
like just for the sake of being like,
Yeah.
yeah, I got proposed at the North Pole just for that moment we just had.
Right.
It was for that kind of thing.
Yep.
But the baby
But it's
announcement
still-
was
Yeah,
Taco Bell.
we took our maternity pictures at Taco Bell
Wait.
and
you-
Waffle House.
Wait, no, you took
maternity pictures.
Yeah.
did like
Like on purpose. Like on purpose.
Like my wife, it was actually
holding the belly and all that.
Okay,
stuff.
like there wasn't like a doctor like scanning, like doing the ultrasound. And
No,
like,
yeah,
why do you have
that's
it
what I'm
covered
saying.
in Taco Bell? I got it smothered and covered in a baby. It's going to be 6 pounds, 8 ounces when it comes out.
No, sir, you're having an all-star special. No, it was like full-on pregnant belly, like doing like the holding the belly.
Gotcha. Okay, like
but like
gotcha.
in front of like the grill.
counter.
Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, and like holding like eating like a taco while she's
So
like.
she's got to have an awesome sense of humor. I mean, come
Yeah,
on.
She let him walk out of the house with that shirt on.
Yeah. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
Okay. Good
and,
for you.
And it's
That's
funny because like she's not the most like joking person.
Yeah.
but like
But she gets it.
But that was her idea.
Yeah.
Like
That
the Taco Bell,
sets
awesome.
like
everything.
man, where do we love? Man, Taco Bell.
Boom.
I'm running with it, and I'm like the person that like if she
commit.
says something that's
You're
like,
in.
like that, I'm like
Yeah,
go
you're
go
in.
before you change your mind.
Yeah,
like
do it.
Yeah.
Misha, we're doing this tomorrow. Like
yeah,
the photo
yeah.
shoot. Like
Get in the car. Let's do this.
like our youngest son's name is like Jetson, which is like I would say probably different.
It's a
Pretty,
unique
pretty common,
name.
actually.
But
I think Rick pulled a muscle rolling his eyes.
but like before she could like think about
You
the
committed.
Jetsons, I was like, yep, like via text, like yep, that's before we go because we wanted.
What's his middle name?
What's
Flintstone?
Chalupa?
No.
Chalupa.
No, dude,
Jetson El Grande.
it is Grande. It was Supreme.
Supreme.
Taylor. Like we go because the oldest son, yeah, Earnhardt is
Jetson Dale.
is
That's the most Kentucky name ever.
but it's like with the last name Smith, we were like, man, we got to get something.
You've got to be creative.
Because there's even Parker Smiths, and that's like the one thing that gets under my skin. Like there can only be one type of
Yeah.
Well, there is a multiverse.
I believe there's like
Yeah.
and,
That's gonna be in part 2 of our podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
my greatest fear is like my multiverse self coming through and realizing like I'm like the example. Where it's like
You're the
look what you're like.
You're the top-notch Parker Smith.
No.
Oh boy.
No.
He's the other one.
This is what your life would have been if you didn't go for it. And you're like the Ebenezer Scrooge, like the ghost comes.
That's when you need to go into those little bedrooms and snuggle and love on those kids to remind you that you're the first.
And their
Absolutely.
cheap beds and their Kia beds.
Yeah. But I would have had 3 kids, and they would have been. No, I'm kidding. But, no, I'm just kidding. And it's like I love them if they're listening. Like
They need to be in bed.
Yeah.
You can let them if you want, but they shouldn't be like.
if my wife is playing this,
They
on
might
the
want
car
some
ride-
pens. They might want some pens. At Penn
Yeah, they
Island.
can order pens. Order your pens.
I went to
at
Penn
Island.
I mean, he is getting into like the part of kindergarten where they're writing. But
They're going to need a lot of pens.
Yeah.
They can get custom ones with their names on them. Jetson.
Where would you
Jetson
get those at?
Earnhardt Smith.
Where would you
Yeah.
get those at,
At
Rick?
pennisland.net.
Man, if they don't become
never
a
gonna
sponsor,
get old.
Oh God.
Come on now. I just want to say I'm associated with Penn Island. Oh yeah, me and the guys over at Penn Island, we're like this.
I don't think I've ever seen Rick this happy right now.
I just love saying Penn Island.
usually he's asleep during these
I
damn
know.
things, man.
Well, you woke me up.
You woke up.
scribbling, drawing, using a pen, right?
Yeah,
Pen
just thinking
Island.
about pens.
All right. Well, we're getting close to time. So
I feel like we
think-
need a good pep talk.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I tell you what? Sorry.
No,
Can I
hold
tell
on.
you what
No,
I
you
had?
You wanted to do it
mentioned?
right into the camera?
Yeah.
Set the stage.
Do it right into the camera, and just know that
Do you need any character development here? Do we need to set the scene?
And you know I'm a terrible player, so I mean you got to talk up to me a lot, okay?
He's just terrible in general. But
Yeah.
Guys, look around you right now. You have every tool that you need to succeed with you right now. You spent your whole life working for this moment, for this podcast. You've been talking your
That's
whole
right, Coach.
life.
That's right.
You know, your dad has been dropping you off here every single day. Dang.
My dad left. My dad went out for cigarettes and never came back.
You know, if your dad was here right now, he would be proud of you. You know. I'm sorry. I have too much AD. Are you recording this on the Meta Ray-Bans right now?
Would you like me to?
Yeah.
That's the whole
So he records everything on the Meta Ray-Ban.
Jason hates recording things on his glasses.
Streaming live right now.
But okay, guys, I know you guys can. I know you guys can succeed. Okay, you've worked at this for your whole lives for this moment. Okay, you have everything set in place for you guys to win.
It's like he's known me my whole life.
I know.
You've worked at this. You've countless hours, time away from the family, for this moment right now. Okay, and I think if after halftime, if we come together, okay, and we give it, and Rick deletes his browser history, we can win. We can win. We can. That other team over there, and that podcast that. They don't think anything of us right now.
Yeah, fuck
right?
Smart. Fuck
Yeah.
Smartless.
Yeah.
Fuck Joe Rogan.
In general. Just,
Alpha Brain, if you're listening, you can sponsor us. But in reality, like, I think this podcast, like, I think this could take off because I mean, I know a lot of the last episode that I watched, the inside jokes, like
You watched it?
Yeah, your neighbor mowing the yard.
Yeah. How is he doing?
oh.
To catch a Kyle.
We have to go to the next episode for that.
Okay.
It's progressed.
But that dude, I was crying laughing at that. Like, and so like,
are you still coaching right now?
No, this is this is the post game.
And I'll stop recording.
We took him out. We took him out of the zone.
Yeah, sorry, I
Pulled him out.
Those poor kids.
Yeah, no, it is hard for like, but
it's also my face. He just keeps looking at my face, going, "Yeah, I can't."
I see like the glimmer in your eye, and I'm like,
because I'm just
I can't
taking it all in.
That's not a glimmer. That's the light on it.
That's the recording light.
So Parker, if you wanted to get some pens, where would you get some pens?
In summation.
Pin Island.
.net.
PenIsland.net.
Yeah, don't go to .com. It's going to be a waste of time because
Yeah,
it's
won't
just
be
parked
anything there.
there.
Yeah.
There's nothing there.
Yeah,
It's like the first time I went to whitehouse.com, and it was like, that's a different White House than whitehouse.gov, I'll tell you that.
Is it the restaurant or what? No.
Back in the early 90s, it was actually a pornography site.
What? Again with you
Yeah,
and the
I know.
pornography?
When are you going to
just
write
finds
that
me.
coffee table book about your history of pornography on the
it just
internet?
finds-
it's
just
his
finds me.
search history.
Oddly enough,
browser
history.
It just finds me.
Jamie's browser history of porn.
He
and
gets
oddly enough, PenIsland.net is not a pornographic website.
He gets to Heaven's Gate and St.
It's
Peter.
really about
It's
pens.
just scroll in his browser history. He's like, no
Yeah,
VPN
sorry.
can save you from this. He's like, you would have made it if it wasn't for Pin Island, you know? Honestly. Like, you got to go to the
I have
other
to
guy.
confess I have not been to PenIsland.net, but
I have neither have I.
mostly out of fear.
It's pretty.
But the flight logs say
ubiquitous.
otherwise.
I mean, I can always use a good pen.
the black box of my computer says differently.
Do you ever see those parents that really just live through their kids? I know you can't say too much, but
No, I mean,
In media production, no.
More so on the soccer field, but not so much in media production.
I think like I have been pretty lucky where I haven't, like, I've seen other teams like
endure the
like
ugly parent.
Yeah, where it's like,
That's good.
it's like, dude, there's kids that are turning pro at 14 now.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah, your kid's not.
if your kid's on JV,
Yeah.
like,
It's not happening.
yeah. And I think,
You're like, at best, he's going to sell soccer shoes at Foot Locker.
Yeah.
At best.
yeah. And it's like, I think I mean, there are some like parents that are just like over, you know,
Yeah.
but it's just like, I think there's also a generation of parents that are like more realistic, like,
That's good.
dude,
That
like,
is good.
yeah.
Keep it in perspective.
Because like, when you just, because you can see like the other kids their age
Oh,
that are
God,
just
yes.
like,
Yeah, it's obvious.
yeah, it's not like pre-LeBron when you're like, oh, I could go pro, and you're like, dude, this kid is gonna,
Yeah.
you know. So like they're more realistic. They're more of like just appreciative that like you believe in their kid kind of thing.
Putting the time in with them.
Yeah, because it's like, even if your kid doesn't get playing time, like, I want them to get confidence kind of thing. Because, and I tell them, we have like a parent meeting beforehand, and it's like, they're not going to go D1. Like, and if they do, the scholarship, you probably spend more money on soccer that could have gone to pay for school. Like, it's not that much. And,
so you sort of level set everything from the beginning.
Well, good for you, though. That's expectation.
Yeah. And it's like, and my thing is, I want to win. So I know you think your kid is like a super great. And if he was, and I want to win, I'd
be playing him.
I'd be putting him in kind of thing. But I still will get him in when the opportunity, because it's like, if it's a close game, it's like, you don't want your kid in there, man. Like, you don't want your kid sucks. And it's like,
sorry, Billy.
But like, because
let me ask you as a parent, do you want us to win?
Well, because like that's happened where it's like tied, and it's like he's got to get in, put him in, and then he's the reason, and it's just like, if you want your kid, it's like
that does not build the confidence,
because he's gonna be like, that was my fault. Everyone hates me, and I'm like, and I tell him after like that loss, it's like, dude, nobody knows that this game even happened besides the people here. Like, and no one reminder, and it's like no one's gonna build a statue. Over a JV coach.
Well,
like,
not now. Well, not now.
Not yet. But it's like you know, they would have built a statue of you if you didn't lose this game. but
next time, kiddo. Next time.
And it's like, and then they know, because like there was a game where like the kids that didn't get minutes, I was like, I'm gonna start them, because this was like it was a team that I thought, you know, and then those kids got 2 goals scored on them, and I'm like, get them. Like, guys, get back, you know.
My bad.
And I think like a moment like that, they're like, yeah, there's a difference. Like they, you know, they know, but like, and they're like, I take a lot of kids on the roster, and good. It's hard to get everybody minutes with the time and stuff, but it's like, even when after tryouts, because we have to cut them to their face and stuff, and which that's the hardest part of the whole season, is being like,
why wouldn't you do something that's not as noticeable? Why are you cutting them to their face?
Can you send him a text?
No, we used to
send him a pin from Pin Island.
No, we used
where would somebody get that pin?
Oh, you go to penisland.net.
Yeah, and you can cut make it. You can edit this out.
Better luck next time.
Yeah, you can edit this out of the podcast, because I'm sure like listeners are like the nuances of like JV soccer,
high school JV soccer.
Yeah,
we actually have a very particular soccer audience.
Yeah.
It's a small niche,
but it's because
and a pin lover.
But because back in the day when they'd put like the team on like a piece of paper on the gym, and it's like everybody runs up, and it's like in the middle of school roster, being like, you know, so it's like to their face, here's why.
Crush their dreams.
Oh, you do give them the feedback?
Yeah, I'm like, look,
because
like,
you suck and we want to win.
Mostly because you're terrible.
Yeah, and I'm like, cross country will take people, because they will.
They'll take you across the country.
The island of misfit runners.
And then you hand them a Burger King application.
Just go sit over there with Jug Dash and Ahmed.
Why do you think he had such a hard time giving us a pep talk? He knows we can't play.
He got no pep.
There's just not a jersey for you, Jamie.
And that's fine.
Dude,
that's fine.
But cross country,
this is my jersey.
cross country. But like, you know, I'm like, here's the things you need to work on, and the hard part is
most of them are not soccer.
Yeah.
But your mom's hot. What's her situation?
Is she single, or is she?
What's your mom's situation?
Is she on Tinder?
But your mom can kick some balls.
What's her Instagram handle?
but can you take Chick-fil-A orders? But you know, just, and it's like, you're a good kid, you know, kind of thing. And I would love to take everybody, but it's like,
No, that's the dose of reality. You have to learn that. Like, we can't go through a society of like, well, everybody wins, because everybody
again,
does.
That's everybody gets a trophy, and I think the pendulum is swinging.
And the thing is, it's like when they do earn it, it means more.
It means more.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And kids aren't stupid.
Yeah.
You see everybody getting you see everybody getting a trophy. Okay, I get one. And first thought they're having is like, big fucking deal.
Yeah.
They know.
Yeah. And
so work for it and appreciate it.
I think.
And why are they getting trophies?
I don't know. Yeah.
Should they get pins?
I think.
Where would you get pins?
Well, at Penn Island.
That joke is not getting old.
Dude,
Not going away.
The participation pin is like the participation pin is the downfall of society, dude. Hey.
Oh, God, that's so awesome. Participation.
Hey, at least you showed up to Penn Island. Participation pin. So last year, like, I had kind of like a morning duty kind of thing.
A morning duty kind of thing.
I have a morning duty too.
Yeah, I mean, usually coffee.
After coffee.
Coffee and
Coffee
cigarettes.
smoke.
But
I loved there for like a split second, and everybody thought it was flying.
and it was right after it was like I can't take that word back. Yeah. But it's basically where like I was helping
morning
out.
responsibility.
Yeah,
How about
morning.
that?
Yeah, morning. Roll. Something. But
Jay eats a lot of morning
it was-
rolls too. That's what causes his morning duties.
yeah, but it was like
Bran muffins probably work better.
Why is this should be over a long time ago?
Oh, my God.
I was hanging up like Penn Island posters everywhere.
Yeah.
Handing out pins from Penn Island.
The best pens come from
Anyway,
that.
your morning job, what were you doing?
My morning job. So with the busing, right?
Oh, you have to take turns and take a
I
shift.
was actually handing out late bus slips because last year's the buses were getting.
Oh, you're talking about for opening day, first day?
I was like opening year.
That's when they used. That's when they used AI to figure out the route. And the route was totally fine.
But so buses were late, so you would have, so they don't. A teacher's not like what?
How much do they go for now? Those slips. Like, how much are kids paying for those?
You just bought yourself 6 hours, Junior.
Well, it wasn't commission based, but
What's your Etsy page where these are selling on?
I was actually making them up. But then after like the buses came, it was like because every kid gets a free breakfast,
Right.
and so then let me go to the cafeteria to make sure like the kids aren't just like hanging around.
Right.
Here's the thing about the lunches is kids don't eat the free lunch and they don't eat the free breakfast, but they drink the free juice, and you have to take the whole lunch if you want the juice.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's like literally a trash can outside the
Oh, dude.
I see where this is going.
And so
Parker's hitting that
I'm
trash
like-
can, aren't you?
I'm like, cinnamon roll?
pulling a Costanza. He's pulling a Costanza.
Sausage, pancake, corn dog? I'm thinking yes.
And so like when I was done, then it's like, I get like extra, like a little bit extra planning time or whatever. And,
Planning to eat that food out of the garbage can.
planning for that second morning duty.
Do you want me to take your tray? I'll take your tray to the.
But
And for Ballard Volunteer of the Year, Parker, who
he's
16 weeks.
Always
of-
volunteers for trash duty.
I know.
it's like, and then eventually like the self-respect, like the
It's on top of the shame.
like being
self-respect.
it kind of was like, what am I doing with my life? Like, I'm actually not that hungry in the morning. And it was
But
just,
dude, cinnamon rolls.
but I mean, there were some good. There were some ones where I was like, I get why you threw it away.
Well, Parker,
Thank
this
you.
has lived up to all of our expectations.
Yeah, can't
This is a
thank
dream
enough,
come true.
buddy.
Yeah, I'm just happy to be here, man.
Well,
Like,
that's for us too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
dude. I'm super appreciative that when I was listening, I was like, I made the cut. They remember me. Like I was happy, and then when I got the invite, I was like, dude, this is bucket list right here. This is bucket
Again,
list.
we all question your bucket,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we'll
And
take
your
the
list.
compliment.
But if you ever need to write a new list, I know we can get a pen.
Where would you get a pen?
At PennIsland.net.
That's where I'm going to
For all
mark
your
it.
pen needs.
Mark it off my list. Like,
Use your pen from Pen Island to mark it off your list.
Thanks again, man, and we'll have you back on.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll have some check-ins from Parker for sure, brother.
Yeah, we'll have some updates and all.
Maybe some reports from the field.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Maybe next year you can just like live stream. Some of your soccer.
we don't have
Might have issues with minors, but
No, but I just want to do a halftime interview with him. Like, Coach, what are you going to do? What are you going to do to fix the second half? Well, I'm not going to play that fucking game.
He's been recording with his VR glasses, his meta glasses the whole game. Like, dude, that might be a good. I could have my kids play with the meta glasses.
Yeah, that's not I mean, not joking around. That you could totally see like what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you like wearing them?
I do. Couple of things, we talked about this before. The battery life is pretty weak. Like you can't wear them all day; they will not last. And after a while, if you wear them all day, they are kind of heavy.
When the battery dies, is a prescription.
They turn black.
And Stevie Wonder music starts playing.
Ray Charles. Yeah.
In the middle of driving, just
You're driving.
oh shit, I can't see that. My subscription didn't re-up. Like, the firmware gave out. Can't see.
No, they don't do that.
That will happen
They
soon.
still remain.
But wouldn't it be cool if it did?
It's like, man, you turn on your toaster, it needs a firmware update, and it's like, I just want to make some fucking toast. Man. You know what I'm saying?
It's like I turn my PlayStation on like once every 6 months, and every time I want to play, it's like it's going to take 4 hours to update. It's like, well, I don't have 4 hours to even play.
do you know what's worse than that? And Matthew and I have talked about this. Is any drone,
World hunger?
Yeah.
any drone.
World hunger.
World hunger.
Well, that's pretty bad. But have you flown a drone before?
I know. I mean, I was trying to see those starving people, and I had to like update that firmware.
Yeah. You pull that out of a case, and
You've lost a half a day.
Yeah, easily. I end up getting an habit where
it
day before
pisses me
you
off.
have to before just for firmware.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, Parker, again, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having
You've
me.
You've
made
been
it.
awesome, dude.
Are you guys wrapping up? Like, I mean,
And Dale forever.
No, you're
man.
here.
Dale
No, you
forever.
can stay. You can keep. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
well, I actually have
No,
to
you can't
go.
keep the headphones.
I do have to go. But I didn't know if it was one of those awkward things like, dude, we got to wrap
understand.
up. Get this guy out of here.
No, but thank you, Parker. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
A-POD-Calypse now.
Oh, man.
Thank
Can't
you.
wait till it airs. Don't send it to my school.
Too late.